Hello and welcome to Season 9, the platform where we speak truth to power. Just a quick update. You can see Mahmood Yakubu there meeting the staff at the independent, so-called, quote-unquote, National Executive Electoral Commission. We all know the issues, ins and outs of that. We're not going to go into it. Let's just watch it. And keep in mind, the election is what it is. It's likely it won't be changed. But anyway, that's the latest that we have. Let's hear it.
Since the 2023 general elections were concluded in March, this is the first time that the INEC chairman will be holding a public meeting with all resident electoral commissioners.
That's Festus Okoye there.
There have been expectations among Nigerians that the commission will review its activities and the way its officials discharged their duties during the last elections. The chairman affirms this as a purpose for this meeting.
Since the conclusion of the election, diverse opinions have been expressed by political parties, candidates, observers, analysts, and the general public on aspects of the elections that took place in February and March. Following the conclusion of the election, the time has come for introspection, stock-taking, review, and evaluation.
According to Professor Yakubu, so far, INEC has received 54 reports on the 2023 general elections from accredited national and international observers, the latest being that of the European Union Election Observer Mission. Like several others before it, the report highlighted some operational lapses which have contributed to a dwindling public trust in INEC.
The election exposed enduring systemic weaknesses and therefore signal a need for further legal and operational reforms to enhance transparency and accountability.
Notwithstanding, the electoral umpire believes strongly that the overall report of the 2023 general elections reflects the will of the people.
Our record shows that these elections have produced the most diverse outcomes ever produced since 1999. Today, 5 political parties produced state governors. 7 parties won senatorial seats, 8 are represented in the House of Representatives, and 9 in the state houses of assembly. Clearly, the 10th National Assembly is certainly the most diverse in party representation since 1999. What is clear from these records also is that the days of single-party dominance of our national politics are probably gone. Furthermore, many prominent candidates lost in the constituencies they contested, and political parties lost in some of their presumed strongholds.
I just wanted to ask a question of INEC. The electoral laws. What is the position of INEC on the issue of Ahmed Lawan? He contested for the presidential elections and then suddenly he now wins a seat in the senatorial. And as we know, you cannot run for in the same political election calendar. You cannot run for 2 positions. It has to be 1. I don't know. What is your take on that? Anyway, let's listen on.
Despite the divergent opinions about the outcome of the election, the overall outlook suggests that it is fair reflection of a complex multi-party democracy.
The INEC chairman, however, acknowledges some challenges which were both structural and man-made and vows to prosecute all who are culpable.
We are presently looking at all the evidence of infractions during the election, including the prosecution of electoral offenders. We are looking at the activities of all actors involved in the election, including some of our high-ranking officials. I can also confirm that we have received 215 case files from the Nigeria police following their arrest and the conclusion of investigation into electoral offenses arising from the 2023 general election. We are working with the Nigerian Bar Association, the NBA, to prosecute the alleged offenders.
So far, the Nigeria Bar Association has submitted a list of 427 lawyers who will assist the electoral umpire to prosecute electoral offenders pro bono. In the days ahead, many Nigerians will be watching to see how these suspected electoral offenders are prosecuted and punished to serve as deterrents going forward.
So that was from Channels News, and just put a picture of Mahmood Yakubu there reading the statement. What is your take on this? I mean, quite looking at it as a citizen, the highest office in the land, it's you. Because I'll keep reminding you, and I want you to remember, you are the highest office in the land. And until we understand that and begin to act on that basis, nothing's going to change. Because it states, you're even more superior than the president, than certainly Professor Mahmood Yakubu. And you need to exercise those powers. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. That means that the power, the highest office in the land, is that of the citizens. Collectively, in each local government area, they possess enormous powers that has not up to date been used consistently because citizens haven't been aware. Our job as Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power, is to encourage you, to let you be aware of this fact, and to show you the process in which you can use these powers to hold those we elect into office and those they subsequently appoint, such as Professor Mahmood Yakubu, to hold them to account. Because it is to us ultimately to whom sovereignty belongs, collectively. In all 774 local government areas, we are collectively sovereigns, and we need to begin to use those powers. How do we use those powers? It is through the participation in our governance. Section 42C states, the participation by the people in the government shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. That's on the screen there for you to use. I want to encourage you to read more into that constitution. I've been doing some further discoveries and things. It's now coming out that a lot of the religious leaders are not aware of our constitution. They know more about the Bible, more about the Quran than the actual constitution that governs the lives of the citizens that they propose to, that they want to come and preach to in church. That is a real serious problem because they are actually hampering the citizens from actively holding their governors to account through their preachings. And it's kind of like a deliberately blinding the citizens from being aware of the real powers they possess. And that is why we are on the drive on Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power, to empower citizens across all 774 local government areas to be aware that they possess the highest office in the land, and that is the sovereign. As a sovereign, the government derives its powers from you, collectively in your community, and you need to use those powers through active and consistent participation in your governance. So the work has begun. I want to urge you all, please share this broadcast. That's the best way you can help us reach more people. And take a copy, a screenshot of the powers I stated earlier on, 14.2a and 14.2c. 14.2a, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. And of course, the participation of the people in the government shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. These are powers that we need to continue to encourage our people to use on a daily basis. And I've talked about the issue about religion, but we will expand more on that. But what are your thoughts on the statements by Professor Mahmood Yakubu? How do you see INEC? Are you confident in the INEC? Let us have your thoughts. You are, of course, watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. For me, I still stand for Yoruba Nation. That is clear. And one thing I would like to do in explaining this, the powers we possess, is to act ultimately the highest office in the land, which are the sovereigns, the citizens, will instruct their representatives, the elected representatives, to do their bidding and insert a referendum clause within the constitution. That is my drive. But anyway, we'll stop on there for now. Thank you for watching. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I will share this broadcast. Leave your comment. Before I do go, I want to do something quickly. I'd love it if you can help me share this broadcast. Subscribe, hit the notification button, finally give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people. The information contained within is very important, and it will help people to really be able to get to the point whereby they can hold their governors to account using the powers they possess. For 24 years, over 24 years, since the 1999 Constitution, our people have not been aware that they're the highest office in the land, and they don't know how to use those powers. We're here to teach you in all 774 local government areas how you can use those powers using your language. You don't even have to speak English. It has to be it can be in your language. And we want you to be empowered to be able to ensure that you are actively participating in your governance. That is the only way you will get infrastructure in your community. So join us in the struggle. You want to be monitoring monetary allocation. You need to be part of the process on a monthly basis. The religion is a distraction. You need to focus on your governance and your role within it. You are the highest office in the land. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll back later on. Thank you and bye for now. Bye for now.